Virgo, you know exactly which opportunity, the one you worked for months or years, the one you prepared for, the one you deserved, the one that was practically guaranteed, until it wasn't, until someone took it, and you stood there, standing, watching, without fully understanding how it happened, because you did everything right. You always do. A Virgo doesn't improvise. Don't leave things to chance. You planned, you executed, you delivered impeccably. And even so, someone showed up, took what was yours, and walked away with the prize. And you were angry, confused, with that horrible feeling of injustice in your chest, because it wasn't fair. It didn't make sense. And worse, the person who took it didn't even deserve it, didn't work like you, didn't dedicate themselves like you, but they took it. And you're here now, processing, trying to understand, trying not to get bitter. And I'm going to tell you something you don't want to hear but need to. It was good that they stole it. It was necessary. And in March will show you why. But let's start with the pain, because you are in pain, and you have the right to be. You're not being dramatic. You're not exaggerating. You were legitimately wronged, and you need to acknowledge that before moving on. So, let's go. Let's talk about what happened. You had a goal, clear, defined. It could have been a promotion. It could have been a project. It could have been a relationship. It could have been a professional opportunity. Anything meaningful that you wanted, and you worked for it. And you saw the path. You saw the steps. You were following it perfectly, as you always do. And it was working out until someone interfered and took it for themselves. And what hurts the most? It's not just losing. It's how you lost. It's who took it. It's the glaring injustice of it. Because if you had lost because you weren't qualified, it would hurt, but you would understand. If you had lost because of timing, you would accept it, but you lost because someone stole it, consciously or not. And that someone? You know who it is. That person. The one you helped, or the one you underestimated, or the one you didn't even consider competition. And them? They studied you, observed you, learned from you, and used it against you. Not necessarily maliciously. Sometimes people don't steal out of malice. They steal out of opportunism. They saw a chance, and they took it, and they didn't think about who was there before. They didn't think that you had priority, that you had invested, that you had a right. They simply took it. And you didn't react. Because Virgo is ethical. It's fair. It's respectful. You expect others to be too. So when someone acts unethically, you're stunned. You don't know how to react immediately because your brain doesn't process deceit well. It doesn't easily compute dishonesty. So it takes you a while to understand what happened. And when you understand, it's already too late. And then there's that specific moment. That moment you can even mark on the calendar. When you found out, when they told you, or when you found out on your own, and the ground fell out from under your feet. Because until that moment, you still had hope. You still thought it would work out. You still trusted that justice would prevail, that competence would be recognized, that effort would be rewarded. And then you found out it wasn't, that it wasn't going to be you, that it was someone else. And you remember exactly where you were, what you were doing, how the news arrived, and how you reacted, or rather, how you didn't react. Because Virgo doesn't have a public meltdown. Virgo holds back. Virgo processes internally. So you heard, you absorbed, you were grateful for the information, and you kept it all inside, to process later, alone, where no one sees. And when did you finally process it? When were you finally alone and allowed yourself to feel? It was devastating. Because it wasn't just about that specific opportunity. It was about everything it represented. It was about the recognition you didn't receive, about effort that went unnoticed, about competence that wasn't valued, about you being passed over once again. Because it's not the first time, is it? It's not the first time you work hard and someone less qualified gets the credit. It's not the first time you do the right thing and someone doing the wrong thing gets ahead. And then comes the anger of having been naive, the anger of having trusted, the anger of having been foolish? No. Not foolish, honest. And honest people always lose in the short term to opportunists. Always. It's the law of dirty tricks. And you feel angry at yourself for not having played dirty too, for not having protected yourself, for not having kept information to yourself, for having shared too much, for having helped too much. Because you helped that person, didn't you? You taught them, you guided them, you opened doors. And them? They used all of that, not to grow with you, but to grow at your expense. And you blame yourself. You blame yourself for being too good, for trusting too much, for thinking that everyone has the same intentions as you. And you promise yourself that you will change, that you will be different, that you will learn to be more strategic, more cautious, more calculating. And I understand, but what if you don't need to? What if the lesson isn't about learning to play dirty? What if you learn to trust that when something is taken from you, it's because it wasn't truly yours? And what is yours? It cannot be stolen, no matter who tries. Why that opportunity? It wasn't yours? I know. You don't want to hear it, because it seemed to be, because everything indicated that it was, but it wasn't. And the universe knew, and it took it away from you, painfully, through imperfect people, through an unfair situation, but it took it away from you. Because by clinging to that wrong opportunity, you were going to miss the right one, which is coming in March. And if you had gotten that one, you wouldn't be available for this one. You would be busy, committed, invested in something that would give you, what? Temporary satisfaction? False security? While the thing that is truly yours, the thing that will truly fulfill you, would pass you by? And you would lose it? And years later you would find out and regret it even more? So the universe intervened. I am a flawed person. It's an unfair situation. And it took you away from there, forcibly. Because you weren't going to leave on your own. Because Virgos don't give up. It's a Virgo thing. When you commit to something, you go all the way. Even when it's not working, even when it's not right, you persist. Because giving up feels like failure. It feels like you didn't try hard enough. So you keep going, and going, and going, until you're exhausted, or until someone takes it away from you. And this time, someone took it away from you, and you're angry. But in March, you'll be grateful, not to the person who stole it, but to the universe that used them to redirect you. Because what's coming in March isn't just better, it's yours, truly, in a way that it never was before. And you'll know, you'll feel the difference. You'll feel that you don't need to force it, that you don't need to prove it, that you don't need to compete, because it's yours. And what's yours doesn't need a fight. It just needs time, timing, you being free to receive it. And you know what's most interesting? You had signs. Signs all the time that this opportunity wasn't for you. Small, subtle, that you ignored because you wanted it so badly. Because you had invested so much, because giving up wasn't an option. But the signs were there. That discomfort in your stomach every time you thought about it. That anxiety that wouldn't go away. That feeling of forcing it, of swimming against the current, of trying to open a door that simply wouldn't open easily. And you attributed that to challenge, growth, the necessary process. But it wasn't. It was your body telling you, this isn't for you, this isn't aligned. This won't make you happy even if you succeed. But you didn't listen. Because Virgos don't listen to their bodies. They listen to logic. And logically, it made sense. On paper, it was perfect. In practice, there was always resistance. There was always something off. You just didn't want to admit it. And then there's that thing about effort. About Virgo's belief that if you work hard enough, if you do everything right, you'll succeed. And usually you do. Usually, effort leads to results, but not always. And when it doesn't, you think it's your fault, that you didn't work hard enough, that you weren't good enough, that you made a mistake somewhere. And you torment yourself, and you analyze, and you try to figure out where you went wrong. But what if you didn't fail? What if you did everything right and still didn't succeed because it wasn't meant to be? Because some doors are closed not because you lack the ability to open them, but because what you need isn't behind them. And the universe protects you, it prevents you, it blocks you, out of love, out of care, because it knows what you don't know, that it's not your destiny, and insisting there is wasting energy that should be saved for what is truly yours. So what's coming in March? Let's be specific. Because Virgo needs something specific. It needs data, concrete information. There's no vague promise of, it will get better. So let's look at the March transits. Solar eclipse in Pisces on March 29th. And Pisces is its opposite, its complement, it's a mirror. An eclipse in Pisces brings partnership. It brings collaboration. It brings something you can't achieve alone, other people, or an opportunity that aligns perfectly with your abilities. That needs exactly what you have, that values exactly who you are. And it's not a competition. It's not a struggle. It's not you trying to prove your worth. It's natural recognition. It's automatic alignment. It's a door that opens easily because it was meant for you. And you will feel that difference. You will feel what it's like when something is truly yours, what it's like when you don't have to force it, what it's like when the timing is right. But there's more. Mercury goes direct in Aries starting March 15th. Mercury is your ruling planet. When it's direct, you're clear-headed. Communication flows, decisions are right. And in Aries? In Aries, it's fast, it's direct, it's courageous. So important conversations will happen quickly. Opportunities will appear quickly. And you'll have to decide quickly. And you will succeed. Because it will be clear. Very clear. Clearer than it was when you tried to force that opportunity that was stolen from you. Why that one? You had doubts. Small ones. Deep down, you felt something was off, but you ignored it. Because the role seemed good. Because logically, it made sense. But energetically, there was always resistance. You just wouldn't admit it. And the universe? The universe respected your free will. It let you try. But when it became clear that you weren't going to give up on your own, it intervened. It took you away, and it hurts. But it saved you. And Venus enters Taurus on March 11th. And Taurus is Earth. Like you, it's solid, it's reliable, it's real. Venus in Taurus brings value, real value. Not a promise, not potential, but something concrete, tangible, that you can hold on to. And if the stolen opportunity was professional, Venus in Taurus brings a better offer, with a better salary, better conditions, a better environment. If it was a relationship, a better person, more aligned, more mature, more ready. If it was a project, it brings a bigger project with more resources, more support, more real potential. And the difference? You won't need to chase it. It will come to you. Because Venus in Taurus attracts, magnetizes. And you are now free, available, open. Because that thing that was stolen from you, it let you go, without you needing to have the courage to let go. Mars is also doing important work. Mars in Gemini from March 17th brings movement. It brings multiple options. And you, who thought you only had one opportunity, that everything depended on that chance that was stolen, you'll discover that's not true, that there are multiple paths, multiple doors, multiple possibilities, and some are even better than those you missed, but you weren't seeing them because you were hyper-focused on just one thing. You had tunnel vision. You were so invested in that specific opportunity that you didn't notice others opening up beside you. And now that that one has forcibly closed, you finally look around. You finally see the complete picture. You finally realize that you weren't stuck with a single option. You only thought you were. And this perception, this openness, it's a gift. It's liberation. It's the expansion you needed, but resisted. And there's something about Saturn too. Saturn in Pisces until May. Saturn is the teacher, the one who teaches through restriction, through limits, through closing doors. And what is it teaching you? It's teaching you about surrender, about acceptance, about understanding that you don't control everything, that you can do everything right and still not succeed if it's not meant for you. And that's a difficult lesson for Virgo, because Virgo believes in meritocracy, believes that effort leads to results. And it usually does, but not always. And Saturn is showing you, sometimes you do everything right and don't succeed because there are bigger plans you don't see. There's timing you don't control. There are destinies you don't choose, but that choose you. And you can resist. You can fight. You can try to force it. Or you can surrender. You can trust. You can accept. And when you accept, when you truly let go, then the universe can give you what is truly yours. Because your hands are finally empty, finally open, finally available to receive. But let's go back to the person who stole, because you're still angry with them, and you have the right to be. But you need to understand something. They didn't steal your destiny. They stole something that wasn't your destiny. Your destiny cannot be stolen. Not by them, not by anyone. What is truly yours? It arrives, always, inevitably. It may be delayed, it may take strange paths, but it arrives. And what did they take? They will discover that it wasn't meant for them either. Because what isn't meant for you, even when you get it, doesn't fulfill you. It doesn't fill you. It doesn't satisfy you. They will have something, and they will feel empty. Because it wasn't theirs either. It belonged to someone else, but not to them. And they will suffer the consequences, not in a punitive way, but in a natural way, of being in the wrong place, with the wrong thing, and realizing that they won a battle, but not a war. And you will be in March, receiving what is truly yours. And you will be grateful. You will be grateful for not having remained trapped in that. And there's a lesson about effort, about work, about deserving, because you believe that effort guarantees results. And you believe it because it usually does. But not always. Sometimes you do everything right and it doesn't work. And it's not because the universe is unfair. It's because the timing is wrong. Or because you're in the wrong place. Or because you're chasing the wrong thing. And you can work very hard indeed, for the wrong thing, and not succeed, and think it's your fault, that you didn't work hard enough. But it's not. It's a universe protecting you, preventing you, blocking you, because it sees what you don't see. It sees that it's not for you. And you need to understand something about your patterns, about how you approach opportunities. You tend to see an opportunity and immediately start working, dedicating yourself, investing, before even confirming if it's really for you, before checking if you're aligned, before feeling if there's real resonance. You see the paperwork, you see the description, you see the requirements, and you think, I can do this, I'm qualified, so I'll go. And I go all in, without pausing to ask, but do I want to do this? But will this fulfill me? But is this aligned with my real purpose? You only ask, can I do it? And if the answer is yes, you go, and you work hard, and you dedicate yourself. And when it doesn't work out, you suffer, because you invested. But what if from the beginning it wasn't for you? What if you had paused, had I felt it, had checked alignment before investing? You would have saved suffering, and energy, and time. And that's the lesson March will teach you. So March isn't just the month when the best things arrive. It's the month when you're finally free to receive. Because until now, you were stuck, tied up, energetically committed to that stolen opportunity. Even after it was stolen, you were still processing. You were still angry. You were still looking back. And looking back, you don't see what's coming ahead. But now you're starting to let go, to accept, to understand that maybe it wasn't for you. And when do you accept that completely? When do you forgive completely? Not the person, but the situation. And you will recognize it. You will recognize it because it will be easy. Not easy in the sense of not having to work, but easy in the sense of not having to resist. You won't have that feeling of swimming against the current. You won't have that little doubt deep down. You won't have that excessive effort that doesn't generate results. It will flow. And flowing doesn't mean there won't be work. It means that the work will pay off. That effort will generate proportional results. That you will feel you are in the right place, doing the right thing, at the right time, with the right people. And about hoarding information, about not sharing, about becoming a closed-off person because you were burned. Don't do that, because it's not the solution. The solution isn't becoming hardened, it's becoming wise. It's learning to discern who you share with. It's not stopping sharing. It's better to choose. It's observing more. It's trusting your intuition, because your body knows, it always knows, when someone isn't safe, when someone isn't trustworthy, when someone is watching you with impure intentions. You feel it, that small discomfort, that inner voice, but you ignore it, because you have no proof, because it seems like judgment. So the lesson isn't about becoming a different person. It's a wiser version of the same person. It's maintaining kindness but adding wisdom. It's maintaining generosity but adding discernment. It's maintaining openness but adding protection. And the person who stole from you, they taught you this in a painful way, but they taught you. And you won't forget. You won't make the same mistake. You won't trust indiscriminately again, but you also won't close yourself off completely. You'll find a middle ground. You'll find balance between being yourself and protecting yourself, between giving and not being used, between trusting and not being naive. And that's growth. That's maturity. That's the wisdom gained through experience. And it's worth more than any opportunity that was stolen from you. Why this wisdom? You take it with you forever. For the next opportunity, for the next relationship, for the next situation, and you won't make the same mistakes again. And when will it arrive? When will that real opportunity present itself? You will feel a difference in your body, not just in your mind. In your body, you will feel expansion. You will feel lightness. You will feel that inner yes that doesn't need to be forced. I don't need to be convinced. It's automatic. It's visceral. It's unequivocal. And you will remember that feeling. And you will use it as a reference forever, for all future decisions, for all opportunities that arise. And there's something about gratitude, about how to transform this experience from something bitter into something that strengthens you. Because you can get stuck in anger. You can get stuck in injustice. You can get stuck in the victim narrative of someone who was wronged, of someone who was robbed. And that narrative, it's true, but it's not complete. And if you get stuck in it, you become bitter. You become resentful. You become a person who doesn't trust, who doesn't open up, who doesn't take risks. And then what? Then you lose more than that opportunity. You lose yourself. But there's another option. There's the option of acknowledging the pain, of validating the injustice, but also of seeing the present, of seeing the protection, of seeing the redirection, and of being grateful, not for the pain, but for protection. And what's coming isn't just an opportunity. It's the best version of you. A version that trusts intuition, that doesn't ignore signs, that doesn't force what doesn't flow, that doesn't cling to what isn't yours. A version that knows when to hold on and when to let go, when to fight and when to surrender, when to persist and when to pivot. So when will March arrive? When will you receive what is truly yours? It won't be despite the loss. It will be because of it. It won't even be because you lost. It will be because you evolved through the loss. It will be because you were transformed, prepared, worthy of what is coming. Because what is coming, it's not for the old version of you, it's for the new version, for the version that trusts, that listens, that discerns, that knows. And you wouldn't have become this version without going through what you went through, without losing what you lost, without suffering what you suffered. So there was no punishment. It was preparation. It wasn't rejection. It was protection. It wasn't the end. It was a redirect. And in March, you will understand completely. You will see the whole picture. You will connect the dots, and you will laugh. You will laugh at how worried you were, how you suffered, how you thought you had lost something important, when in reality, you were being guided, you were being protected, you were being prepared, because it was always yours. That is finally arriving, at the perfect time, in the perfect way, perfect for you.